Welcome everyone to the Knitting by the Sea podcast. My name is Lisa. I am Saratoga Knitting on Instagram and on Ravelry, and welcome to my home in Marblehead, Massachusetts. And today I can actually say my home because some exciting news for the family. This week we have lived in this house, which is a very old house. It was built originally in 1750 as a warehouse, and then transformed into a home about 100 years later. And we have actually been renting this house for the last year in anticipation of looking for a condo in town and kind of transitioning that way. But we actually had the wonderful, amazing opportunity to purchase the property from our landlord, and which was wonderful. We really like it here. We know the house. We, because we've lived here all for the year. We know the foibles. We know how to make things work, etc. So we are very, 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 very happy, and we closed on the house last week. So now this very old house is mine, my husband's, and Sophia's. So we are very, very pleased about that. That's the biggest news that I have this time. But welcome. I haven't talked to you in a while. I've been doing a lot of things in between. So today we're going to look at some finished objects, some works in progress, and probably talk about some upcoming projects that I have planned. And we're going to actually do a couple of giveaways today, and I have a review. I really love to highlight, as you know, independent dyers, and I'm always talking about different indie pattern writers. So I've actually been given an ebook to review, which I think you're really, really going to like. And then we'll do some chatter at the end. So let's get started. All right, finished objects. I have a few today. I've been away for a while, so I have a few done. Oh, and this is just to let you know, I'm sure you've all seen this before, but this is my Brunsfield vest by Isolde Teague that I did last year for Rhinebeck. So this was my learning how to steek project, because I had to steek the neckline and I had to steek the two armholes here. So all good. You can see some of the project pictures. I have to scroll way down in my project page because I started this so long ago. But yeah, it's great, and it's a beautiful day today. It's a beautiful spring sunny day, but it's just a little bit cool. Still has that little bit a bit of coolness in the air. So I thought I would put this on today. But let's see, finished objects. My first finished object is the Moon Glow shawl by Jana Huck. I've been working on this for a long time as well, and I really, really like it. I actually made this is out of some alpaca yarn, and the pattern itself is written for fingering weight yarn, but of course I decided to use kind of DK weight yarn instead, because I really wanted a big and squishy shawl for the winter, and this is really going to be it. So if you remember, this is the pattern. It's all striped, so you use short rows, but it's really fun and interesting, and it it's big. It blocked out huge, but it's kind of it starts at one end and you keep going. It looks like piano keys. You keep going all the way down to the middle point, which I think is right around there, and then again you start shortening the rows up, and so then it comes back down to the other side. Oop, to the other side. But this is huge. It is very, very warm because it's alpaca. It's stretched out incredibly because it's alpaca, but I love it. This is going to be really a great go-to. This is one of those things I'm just going to leave in the house and leave it on the chair. In fact, when I finished it and brought it back from my mother-in-law's, where I blocked it out on the clothesline, which I always like to do, I put it on the chair, and the cat decided it was hers. She came over, sniffed a little, and just curled right up on it. So I think that's got a thumbs up. Maybe that's a new thing I should do. If it has cat approval, then it's okay. The cat definitely approved of this, and yeah, I'm super happy. This took a long time to do, and even though it was short rows, once you understood where you were going with it, I say that a lot, but really, once you understood where you were going, there's maybe a 10-row something like that, 10-row repeat in this, and you get into the rhythm of it because you're changing colors at the same point every time. She has this really, really nice I-cord edging detail, which is really cool. I really like this. I liked doing it, and it just makes such a nice edging on it, and it just continues. It's a way to continue that striping over on the side, and then on the back side, it's a nice detail as well. So this was really, really, really fun. I really enjoyed it. I highly recommend this pattern. I would make this again. Maybe I'll try it in fingering weight the next time, but this is really great. This is going to keep me warm next winter. So I'm really happy with that. Very, very pleased with that. I really like her patterns. Yeah, I like her patterns quite a bit. What else have I finished? Oh, I have a couple of pairs of socks. I did finish the striped socks. I think I had shown them in progress the last time I podcast, but these are just kind of my own design. And I really should put this pattern, just kind of write it up on my pattern page. I really haven't, my project page. I haven't done that yet, but I think I will if I remember. And these are just some striped yarn that I used, and this striped, let's see, striped pattern. It's just a slip stitch pattern, so the stitches kind of, the slip stitches kind of move over every row. So that's just kind of a nice little pattern. I've done something like this before, but I finished both of those. Again, bus knitting. I commute to Boston every day, so I have a good 20 minutes, half an hour on the bus portion where I can knit, and so that's usually sock is a really good travel project for me. So I'm really happy with doing those. My second sock project that I completed is these are the Drippity Drop socks by Kay Jones of the Bakery Bears. I love her patterns too. They're just so thoughtfully written, and just really, really, really great to knit. So these are the Drippity Drops. She came out with these, I forget when it was, but it's been a few months now, and this pattern is really, it's ingenious. It makes a lovely, 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 just a lovely patterning texture. Texture is what I'm looking for. So these are the Drippity Drop socks. So if you can see this lovely texture, it's just beautiful, and it works really well with a nicely, just kind of a softly variegated or speckled yarn, because it just is giving you enough texture. It's very lovely to knit. This was actually knit with Kay's yarn as well. So I think this was from the Agatha Christie series that she was doing, and I actually was able to snag a skein, and so I use these for the socks, and they are beautiful. I think this is the yarn that has a little bit of cashmere in it, so they're just wonderfully soft. But yeah, really happy with this pattern, and would highly recommend this as well. It's a great, and again, it's really easy to memorize once you know what you're doing. It's great. You just fly right along. So that I'm really happy with those. And then the third pair of socks that I have completed are the Humblebee socks by Sarah Bauer from the Yarns at Yin-Hu podcast. Sarah Pomegranate, as many of you know her. Just throw this on the sock blocker here. This is a really lovely pattern as well. I test knit these for Sarah, so I've had these done for a while. The pattern came out just a few weeks ago, and you can see that they're these lovely little cable patterns that look like butterflies going up the leg. She has a really interesting construction. She has a double. There's a double gusset here, and then she has this really great piece so that you have this. You have some ribbing right underneath the center of the foot, and this is actually great. I wasn't sure how this was going to feel when I wore it, but it's really nice. And if you look at some athletic socks, some pre-made athletic socks, they often will have this type of thing, and it really pulls the sock right into your foot, and it really sits very nicely on there. But I was super pleased. You can see it has this, and it has the little bit of it. It has, let's see, I'll pull it on the side here, so you can see that it has the little bit of the cable pattern again going right up the back of the sock, which is a really nice detail. So yep, this is knitting some sparkly yarn, but I really like it a lot. A lot of the people are choosing kind of a yellow color, so that it's kind of brings out the bumblebee issue. But I really liked it in this too, because I really just love that texture that it gives. Again, great pattern, Humblebee socks by Sarah Pomegranate. Really highly recommend it. Let's see. So I think yes, I think that's it for finished objects. That's quite a bit of knitting to finish up. But I have a lot of works in progress. So let's move on to that. In progress. Let's see the projects that I have going on. I have a few. The first one that I wanted to show you are my next pair of socks for the bus knitting, and this is the Added Elegance pattern by Mary Lucas. And remember this for later in the podcast. And this is a lovely pattern. This is the second time I have knit this. And this has a very, very lovely cable that goes all the way from the toe all the way up the side of the socks. It's very, very lovely, and it mirrors each other. So you do it on one side on one sock, and then on the other side on the other sock. And this is a great because most of it is just stockinette, and then you have this little cable interest here, and it's only a four row repeat, so it's easy to memorize. You know exactly where you are when you get going on the socks. But I'm very, very pleased with this, and this is actually knit out of some lovely 6 and 7 fiber that I got a hold of, and this is it's really great. I love all these red tones in here. It's just really lovely. It's super soft. It's really great to work with, and I'm really excited about that. I actually was kind of introduced to 6 and 7 fiber during the Harry Potter knit along, because I didn't know about it, and she was one of our group members, and so I got to kind of take a look and see what she was doing, and she's doing beautiful yarns. So take a look at her shop. It's really just beautiful. I'm very, very happy with this. And as I said, remember about this a little bit later in the podcast. We'll discuss it more. So that's my first work in progress. My second work in progress, I think that I'll talk about, is my Bits and Bobs blanket, and this pattern is by Kay Jones of the Bakery Bears. Again, I knit a lot of her patterns, but they're really great and really interesting. Now you know that there's the craze for brioche stitch out there right now, and brioche stitch is a really lovely stitch. It's once you get the idea of it, again, it's not very hard to do. Brioche is a little more complicated if you're doing it. You can do one color brioche and you can do 2 color brioche. So 2 color brings it up a step of difficulty, and then you can also do increases and decreases in brioche, which again bring it up to another level of kind of having to think more about your project. But Kay has come up with a pattern which I think is a version of a fisherman's rib to make a blanket, and it's just coming out lovely. It looks like brioche, so it's really super soft and stretchy and squishy, just everything that you would want to have, just in a nice little nice lap blanket. And the best part about this is that it's designed to use 2 strands of fingering weight yarn, so it's a scrappy blanket, but it's great. I don't really like doing, I'm not a crochet person, so I don't do the crochet granny square blanket, and I find the little mitered squares very fiddly for me, and I just don't enjoy doing them, so that's fine. But this is a great option for me. So I have, and you know that I do tons of socks, so I have tons of leftover fingering weight yarn, which is fabulous, and they're beautiful, and they're indie dyed, and they're just so beautiful, and so they're always kind of sitting in a bag just waiting for me to figure out what to do. Well, this is great. This is what I'm going to do from now. You can even see farther out, you can see how lovely the colors are. Oh, and I also didn't say this blanket, basically both sides are the same, so there's no right side or wrong side of it. The pattern looks exactly the same on both sides, which again is really nice for a blanket that you're kind of going to have on a chair, because sometimes somebody will come around and flip a blanket over the wrong side, and you're like, oh, that side doesn't look great. This is phenomenal because either side is perfect. But I have my huge Harry Potter bag filled with scraps, filled with scraps. There's a ton of them in here. So it's great, and you just basically go along and every now and again change one of the yarns that you're using. just add it in, and it's really easy to, because there's so much color, you're never ever going to see any of the ends that you're weaving in at all, which again is another a bonus, a bonus on this pattern. Some people, I think, that have been doing it have just used one base color in the back and then just changed out, used one yarn the same, the entire blanket, kind of as a background, and then I just added in other colors as they went along. But I'm just pulling them out. So whatever my hand grabs next, I do a few inches in one color, and then I'll just add in the next one. So it transitions really nicely. And it's going to go with any decor because it has so many colors. And I think this is going to be just a go-to. It's going to be one of those for sure that the cat's going to want to sleep on. This is going to definitely get cat approval here in this house. But I'm really happy with this bits and bobs, and it's just a nice pattern, a nice project to pick up when you just want to, those nights when you just come home and you really don't want to think. Don't want to think. This is the perfect thing. Pick it up, work a few rows on it, and it just grows and grows and grows. And there's really, this is really great. I'm really enjoying this particular pattern. Now the third pattern that I'm working on, that if you follow me on Instagram, you have seen me working on this pattern. I was so lucky, so lucky, unbelievably lucky, I have to say, that I follow Trey Liz Yarns, and Liz is from, I believe she's French, but I believe she lives in Greece. So she is this great young woman, and she dyes incredible yarns. And I happened to catch she was doing a live YouTube program one morning, and I happened to catch it. And she was thinking about putting together kits to do a sew faded sweater by Andrea Mowry. And she's like, let's do a giveaway. So she was going to do 4 or 5 different combination of colors. And she's like, just tell me in the comments which one you like, and I'm going to choose 2 people as winners. Well, wouldn't you know it? 2 days later, I had a message. Congratulations, you're one of the winners. I'm like, oh my god! So I actually got 5 skeins of Trey Liz yarn. So this is her. That is the band, the ball band down here. But I mean, look at this crazy color. It's unbelievably gorgeous. The colors are just so saturated and lovely, and the yarn is fantastic to work with. It's a single ply, so fingering weight single plies. Oh, it is unbelievably lovely, and I have 5 skeins of different colors, so I'll show you. So this is the Sew Faded Sweater, again by Andrea Mowry. I haven't done any fades at all, any faded projects. So once I got this, I was like, all right, I'm gonna go for it. But it's a great pattern. I actually have read that this is a really approachable pattern. You can make it cropped, you can make it longer, you can make short sleeves, 3/4 length sleeves, full length sleeves, whatever you'd like to do on this, and it really is very, very adaptable. And that's what I have found so far. I think it's very, very nice. But so I'm doing I'm not doing the lightest to the darkest. I'm kind of mixing it up a little bit, so it has this beautiful green color at first, and then it moves into this lovely lighter green here, and then we move into this fantastic deep blue with all these red and yellow speckles in it. And then I love this. I'm really loving this. I think this is actually my favorite color where I am right now. But look at these fire red, and it looks like a beautiful sunset. It's really, it's so beautiful. And then this will be, I'll use this to fade in at the end. So yeah, and really Andrea's instructions on how to fade are very, very simple. Once you've finished the top part and you've split off for the arms, there's no shaping, so you're just knitting all the way down and around. So really you can kind of concentrate on what your yarn is looking like and what the colors are looking like and how the fade is going and what to do next. And then you'll pick up here, and I'll do each of the arms, and you fade them the same way. I haven't decided. I might do 3/4 length. I might do 3/4 length. I really don't have I don't have any sweaters that are 3/4 length. I might try that this time. But I might go all the way down and just use it. It's just going to be a really nice light summery kind of a sweater. This would be spring, certainly early fall as well for me. But yeah, I could just wear it. I'm sure I could wear it on its own. I could wear it over a light shirt as if I wanted to. But I'm really pleased with this. I think this is just going to be very, very lovely, and it's been a joy to knit. As I said, just looking at at the colors, and I actually was knitting outside yesterday late in the afternoon, and just I really it's a weird. It's funny. I don't know. It's weird, but when you're knitting or spinning inside, and I really don't realize this until I go outside, you see the colors one way, and they're lovely, and they're beautiful, and then when you take it outside into the natural light, now that it's coming back and we have beautiful weather again, then the colors just really, really pop, and I always, I have always said that it's very different for me to like spin fiber on a weekend during the day as opposed to doing it in the evening, because you don't really realize how much more color you see in the light. And it's just and the lights that you have in your house aren't enough. It's really, you really need that some type of natural light to just open up and just show you the gloriousness of these colors. But this is I'm really, really happy with this project. I just keep knitting on it. I'm really happy with it, and I am looking forward to getting this done and off the needles. I have a couple of other projects that I'm working on, but I don't have the yarn or the projects with me now because we recently went to Florida for a vacation, and my in-laws drive there and drive back. So what I did is I put together some yarn and the yarn kits of projects that I wanted to do, and I put them in a bag, and we pre-sent some stuff down. So they took some of our clothes, and so I had a couple of projects in there. So those are some projects that I started while I was in Florida, and I don't have them with me today, but the next time I podcast, I will have them because they are coming back this week. So I'll get to show you then. So I have a couple of more that are going to be coming up that I need to get back to work on. But all right, so I think that's all of my works in progress for right now that I have with me. And yeah, so let's move on to the next section. So I said earlier that I was asked to do a review of a new ebook that is out, and I am very pleased to do it. It is the Tickled Pink. This is the first page. And it is by Cece Allman and her daughter, Dami Allman. And they are of the Geeky Girls Knit podcast fame. So you may know them already. I have been following them for a long, long time. They are a mother and daughter pair. Dami's kind of grown up on camera. They lived in Texas, and then they moved to Scotland for a little over a year, and now they're back, and they're living up in the Northwest. So they're living up in the Seattle area now, and they just do some really lovely patterns. Cece does tons of sock patterns, which I love. I've knit several of them up until now, but this ebook is great. It has 4 sock patterns, 1 hat pattern, 1 shawl pattern, and 1 wrap, and then a cowl as well. So there are there are 8 patterns in this ebook, and I really would love to knit practically every single one. I really like the format of this. The contents are easy to get to, so you can see them here. They're all listed at the front, and then of course if you just click on each one, you're going to go right to the pattern. They include some they include a heart pattern, kind of a heart indication. So if you have 1 heart on a pattern, it is easy. If you have 2, it's medium. And if you have 3, it's a harder pattern, which I really like that idea quite a bit. I think that works really, really well for someone kind of coming new to to their patterns. The font size is great. Of course, if you have an ebook, you can make it larger or smaller, but it really works very, very well. And the pictures that they have of the projects are great. You can really just see them in every single angle. You can actually see what they're going to look like finished and worn, which is a nice option. Cece, on her every single sock pattern in the ebook is written both top down and toe up, which is a really nice bonus for everyone, because for me, I really like to knit toe up, so I rarely will knit a pattern that's top down. I rarely do that anymore. So I really like the option that she has in each of these sock patterns to do either one. She also has charts for the sock patterns, but she also has the written directions, and then again, that is great. And I know it takes a lot of time for a designer to do that, but it's really helpful. There are some days, some people just like charts, some people just like written instructions, and then there are days, if you like to work on a chart, some days you're like, all right, my brain can't wrap around that, I need to go back to the written instructions, and it's really nice to have both available to you to use. But yeah, I just think they are fantastic. Let's see. So this is an easy peasy 6-color gradient sock. Again, so you've got a lot of those minis hanging around that you haven't, or you have put in a blanket, and you have some left. This is a sock pattern just to use for those. There is the I Believe in Pink hat. So this is terrific too. Cece loves pink, and so they do a lot of pink themed things, and that's what this is all about. But this is a really cute hat. So it has color work, and it has a chart with it. It's super cute. And we have, let's take a look here. We have Diamonds in the Mine socks, which are really super pretty too. I love this little pattern. I will definitely be knitting this. This is really lovely. And then we have, oh, this is nice as well, the Bashful Stripes shawl. Again, this is just lovely. I think this is just a nice garter stitch shawl to knit. We have the Thistles in Bloom socks, and this is a reminder of their time in Scotland. So this is based on the Scottish thistle. It's a lovely lace pattern here. And we have the Alba cowl. I really like this one a lot. It says, Alba is the Scottish Gaelic word for Scotland, and Scotland is home to the beautiful and dangerous thistle, crisp autumn mornings, and jewel-toned sunrises and sunset. And this cowl combines the beauty of all of Scotland's treasure into a unique slip-stitch design that looks like a field of thistles when completed. I really like this. I like this very much. I definitely will make this. This looks really pretty. And again, it's slip stitches, so it makes it interesting. It's almost like doing color work without doing color work. And if you use the different colors on it, yeah, I really like this. This looks like a really beautiful cowl. And we have I Found Pearls in the Seaweed socks, which again is a really lovely lace pattern. And we also have, this is lovely. In fact, Sophia, when she was looking at it, she was, oh, I like that one, Mom. No pressure or anything, but she's like, this is the Sea and Sky wrap. So this is beautiful. So this just looks like undulating waves. I like this one as well. And as I said, Sophia really likes it. So at some point, maybe we'll get her to knit this. And I think that's it. Lovely patterns. And as I said, I really like, here's the difficulty level. So you can see the difficulty level on those. Every single pattern has that. I like the fact that they're toe up and cuff down on the socks. I like the fact that they wrote out the instructions as well as giving you the chart to work from. I like the pink theme of everything, and I like the difference in the patterns. I think that's really nice to have a hat option. You have a couple of a shawl, a wrap, socks, and a cowl, and it's just like the perfect little collection. But I'm very pleased with this. I'm really happy, and I think it's great. I've already queued up some of the patterns on my project pages. Here's a little fact I just realized, and probably everyone out there is going, oh my gosh, Lisa, I can't believe you didn't realize that before. But if you look at a pattern on Ravelry, there's a button that says cast on this project, and you just hit that, and it starts a project on your project page with all of the relevant information. Yeah, I just discovered that. That's pretty sad, isn't it? Pretty sad. I mean, for all these years, I've been typing it in. I can't find the right pattern. I got to go back, type in the right name, try to... No, there's a button for that. There's a button for that. But anyway, that's an aside. Now, Cece and Dammy have offered to my podcast viewers to win a copy of this lovely ebook, which again I really highly recommend. So, what I will do is I will set up I'll set up a thread in the Ravelry group. So come on over and join the Ravelry group if you haven't already, and we will do a giveaway of that, and I'll put a little prompt in there, and you can just answer that for me, and I'll do the drawing on the next time that I podcast. So I'm very, very pleased with that. Now, I said that I also had mentioned to you to keep in mind the Added Elegance socks that I had done earlier, and I've been working on, and they're by Mary Lucas, and Mary Lucas is Pearl Kitty, and she actually has a summer sock club, and this is it here. It's the 2018 Pearl Kitty Sock Club. 4 sock patterns over 4 months, and that's available right now. So the first one is already out, and I have queued that up. I haven't started it yet, but I will, and I am really looking forward to it. And let me see if I missed it. But so the first one is up. But Mary, as I said, I have knit her patterns before. I really, really like them, and she has also offered to the podcast watchers, viewers, a copy, or to become a member of this club. She's offered a club membership to one of our viewers, so I'm very pleased with that. Thank you very much, Mary. And again, I will set up a separate thread in the Ravelry group, and I'll give you a prompt, and you can answer that. And the next time along, I will draw for a winner, so some lucky winner can become a member of the Pearl Kitty Sock Club for the summer. So that's going to be great. And probably by the time I podcast again, I will have the other pair of socks. I will have those pair of socks finished. So that will be really nice too. So come on along to the Ravelry group, Knitting by the Sea Ravelry group, and join and enter, and you could be the lucky winner of one or both of these items. All right. So let's move on to some chatter. So it's been a while since I've been able to podcast. I think the last time I podcasted, there was a storm going on. We had so many storms this winter, so many. But now the weather has turned. I think we're not going to have any more snow, but no, the weather has turned. The trees are blooming. The flowers are budding. It's just absolutely just lovely outside, and I'm really, really happy to have us turn to this beautiful, beautiful weather again. But so lots of things have been happening since then. Of course, the house, that's the very biggest thing. We're super, super pleased with that. I think at some point I'll go through the house and take some pictures, because there are lots of like little details that I didn't really want to kind of put out there, because it really wasn't our house right now. But there are lots of fun little details about this house that are really just kind of special, and I know people will be interested in seeing them. So, but we're just over the moon. I just think it really, I think this is one of those places and one of those times where we had no guarantee that was going to happen. There were talks about possibly having it happen, but nothing serious. And then when it really did come to fruition, but it's almost a sense of that you have in a house like this, or a building, like the house was welcoming us. And I always kind of felt like this was where we were meant to be, even though at the beginning there was really no thought of that. But it's very, very comfortable. It feels warm and comforting to us. It is a perfect house for Mark, the mariner. He really loves all the details. It's exactly where we have always wanted to be. Mark grew up in Marblehead, and we lived here before we were married, and then after we were first married, probably for at least 5 years or so. And we lived in a house in Old Town, lived in an apartment in Old Town, and really enjoyed it, because you can just kind of walk down to the ocean, and you can walk, and it's really easy to get around, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful location. and then we moved away, and you know, we lived in Swampscott, which is the next town over. We lived on Cape Cod. We lived in Florida, and then we lived back in Saratoga. And then our plan, our hope, our goal was to come back to Marblehead and find a condo, because we had no anticipation of being able to afford a home here, an actual house. So that was kind of all of our plan. We rented for 2 years, and Sophia came back, and we have just all these things kind of have come together where this particular property was just perfect for us, and just to have the opportunity to actually purchase it. And now we're actually living in Old Town in Marblehead, and it's just so much fun. It's so unique, and I really love it. And it just makes you, although we felt part of the community, it just makes you feel even more grounded. And yeah, we're not moving. This is our house. They're gonna wheel me out of here in the wheelchair. I mean, I've told Sophia, she's like, "Yep, we're not going anywhere. I don't want to move again." That was actually nice because we just did the purchase, sat around the table, signed all the papers, but we actually didn't have to move anything because we were already here. So that was really nice. Just a wonderful opportunity. And I must say that I had posted that up on Instagram, and I was flabbergasted, and I just felt so much love and joy from everyone who commented, and liked the post, and it just felt wonderful. It felt like a great big hug from Instagram, and I really appreciated it. It was really great, and we are just so happy to be here. I'm just going to settle in and feel like it's ours. So that was great. So that's obviously the very first big thing. The second thing is we took a Florida vacation. Finally took a vacation. My in-laws rented a house in Venice, Florida, or a condo in Venice, Florida. They have been going to Key West for several years, and the house that they were renting in Key West actually was sold this year, so they couldn't go back for the same amount of money that they were spending before, although Key West is a lot of fun. But so they found a place in Venice, and Venice is on the Gulf side of Florida. When we lived in Florida, we lived on the East Coast. So the West Coast is very, I just don't really have any experience with the West Coast, so that was kind of fun. And we flew down and we stayed for a week, a glorious week. It was I just needed it. It's busy at work. And so this was a perfect place, and I got to do lots of knitting, which was wonderful, just absolutely wonderful. While I was there, I got an Instagram message from a lovely woman, and she was like, "Hi Lisa, I see that you're in Venice, and have you had a chance to come to the local yarn shop down in Venice?" And I hadn't. And she's like, "Oh yes, and we have social knitting there on Thursdays, and we'd love to have you join us." So I was like, "That's great." My husband Mark's like, "I can't believe this," and I was like, "No, this is absolutely awesome. I thought it was so fun." And so he dropped me off. I went to the little yarn shop called Needlefish Yarns, and here's their card. Right there. And it was absolutely wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. You know how I've always talked about community. That's really what it's all about. That's why I do a podcast. I just really love the interactions with everyone. And I just love the opportunity to meet people in person, which is really fantastic and fun. So this was totally unexpected. And sometimes those are the best. Sometimes those are the best things. I went down and I probably spent about 2 hours there. We all sat around and talked and knit, and it's just this lovely little yarn shop right in downtown Venice, and it was fantastic. I loved it, and of course I had to pick up some yarn while I was there, and I actually got 2 skeins. I've already given one away, but as a gift. But I got 2 skeins of Legacy Fiber Arts there, which was awesome, super awesome. I love this color. I had this other skein that I gave away as a gift to someone who really will appreciate that. But I got 2 of these, and these are great. I have never knit with Legacy Fiber Arts yet. And I actually got a message. I had put this up on Instagram, and I got a message from Sue saying, "Oh, I saw that you were in Venice, and I was going to tell you should stop into Needlefish Yarns," which is really fun as well. So this was a really great a really great purchase, and I am looking forward to some. This will probably be socks, so I'm looking forward to getting into this at some point. During the year. But yeah, can't go into a yarn shop without making a little bit of a purchase, can you? So I was really happy about this. They were so welcoming. It was just such a great opportunity, and my in-laws will probably be going there next year. They really liked the little condo, so I'll be back, ladies. See you next year. But it was so much fun, and I really want to thank them for inviting me to come. That was really, really a delight. It was a highlight of my week in Florida. The other thing we did while we were in Florida is we went to a couple of different nature preserves. Now, Mark is not really a nature preserve kind of guy. He's an ocean kind of guy. He doesn't really like the beach, but he likes the rocky kind of thing. Obviously, he's a rower. Nature preserves are really not his thing, but because he's doing all the photography, he thought maybe that would be a good idea. We could go and take a look. So we went to one earlier in the weekend. It was okay, but it wasn't really great. It was okay. The second one we went to was really nice, and that had a full 3-mile trail, and there was nobody there, which was nice as well. But that one took you. There's some beautiful pictures, and beautiful trees with this red. I think it's bromeliad. You just took a picture of it in the sun, and it was just this lovely red colors. I'll put some of the pictures at the end as well. But it had these paths down to a little bit of a river. It was just beautiful, and it was really nice. The other thing was that right down the road, right in front of a golf course. Of course, there's tons of golf courses in Florida, but we would walk every morning, and right along this particular walk, and there was this huge tree, and an eagle had nested in this tree. And those nests, I don't know if you've ever seen them. I had never seen them in person. They are unbelievably large. Well, the eagles themselves are very large. So it was bald-headed eagle, and it was just gorgeous. So we got to see it once, and Mark got a couple of pictures of it, and I'll put those in as well. But you just don't see those birds. You don't really see them around here. Occasionally, maybe you'll see an eagle up here, or maybe more if you're in the mountains, kind of thing. But not. I've never seen one in the wild, and this was just fantastic. And it's nesting season for them, so there were lots of signs and different in the nature preserve that we went to. You couldn't go into certain areas because the eagles were nesting there, which was really special. That was really, really cool. So every morning we'd be walking down to see if the eagle was there, and we only saw it one day. So we actually were very lucky to have been able to see it. And as I said, Mark got some great pictures. So that was really really fun. We went out to dinner a few times. Our last night there, we went to dinner at a restaurant right on the beach, which was a lot of fun. So I got to have my pina colada on the beach, and so it was a lovely way. Our trips down and back were great. I think it was school vacation week for Massachusetts, so on both ends of the trip, they asked for people who, if you wanted to sit in an exit row, because there weren't enough adults traveling. There were adults with children. So we were like, that's us, we'll take it. So you get that extra leg room. It was really, really nice. The only downside is that your seats don't recline, but I was okay. I would rather have the extra leg room. And this time I had the iPad with me. I had downloaded a couple of shows from Netflix, put those babies on. 3 hours later, and the time went by really, really quickly. I felt on both of our flights there and back, it really went much quicker than I kind of anticipated it feeling. But it was lovely. So that was very, very nice. It was a much needed break. And Sophia didn't come, so she stayed home and took care of the cat, so we didn't have to worry about that either. And yeah, so that was that. And then we came back from that, and Sophia and I went to the annual Knit Local get-together in Washington for the Washington County Fiber Tour. So Tracy, my sister-in-law Tracy, and I have done the Fiber Tour for years. If we lived in Saratoga, so it was just a day thing. We would just get together in the morning and then go around to the different farms that were open. And 2 years ago, I think, Sarah Bauer from the Yarns at Yinhu podcast had actually been the year before, and then she decided she liked it so much that she thought that other people would like it too, so she wanted to kind of put together put together a kind of a little getaway for people to come and go on the tour together. And so she's done that for 2 years. She had some medical issues that she was dealing with this year, so she was not able to organize it. But Carol Foster Farm, and MJ Packer from the Bat and Kill Mills stepped up to the plate and put it together for us. So that was really, it was great, because I think people were concerned that we wouldn't be able to do it because Sarah couldn't organize it this year. But then when Carol and Mary Jean, MJ did it, that was wonderful. So we went. And Sophia hadn't been before. So Sophia, we had her friend Sarah and Emma come along as well, and they had come with us to Rhinebeck. So we're opening up their fibery worlds, and just bringing them into all of these different venues with us, which is really it was a lot of fun for them to get together. They haven't seen each other in a few months, so they did. The only downfall this year was that Tracy was sick, so I didn't have my compatriot with me to go around this year. She just had a really bad cold and couldn't do it. Although we did meet up with her when we went to see Carol at the yarn shop, so that was fun to get to see her. My husband and I have to go up to Saratoga in a few more weeks, so we'll get together with my brother and Tracy while we're there. But yes, my camera ran out of battery juice, so I'm back again. But I think I was talking about the fact that Tracy couldn't come to our to the Knit Local this year, so we all missed her. And again, I'll be getting together with her in a couple of weeks to see her again anyway. But what a wonderful experience once again. I had that great experience of community in Florida. And then I just had this great experience once again of community at the Knit Local retreat. It's just so wonderful. It's a fairly small group of women that get together. And everybody's coming from such a different place. There are people from New York City. There are people from Pennsylvania. There are people from, Massachusetts, Vermont, and then local as well. And it's so nice to forge these friendships and then get together and just have some really nice conversations with people about knitting, of course, but about life as well. And it really, if you have an opportunity to do one of these getaways or retreats, please, if you can, do it. It's the first time you go, you're like, oh my gosh, awkward. Will I fit in here? Who am I going to speak to? Who am I going to talk to? But it really, the knitting community and the crafting community is just so open and welcoming. And these little retreats are so much nicer than, Rhinebeck is Rhinebeck, and it is what it is, and it's a fabulous, fabulous experience. But it's not the same as a smaller retreat where you just have a chance to really sit down and talk to people. And this year, we have a dinner. People just bring things in crock pots. We had a bunch of soups this year, and everybody ate together on Friday night. And usually on Saturday night, people go out to eat, or they bring things back in. And this year, it was such a lovely day, and we were all just we came back after visiting all the farms and just thought, you know what? I think nobody just really wants to go out again, so let's just finish it. We had tons of food. We always have way more than we need, and so everybody just had leftovers, and we sat and we had a wonderful evening. We did some embroidery, which many of us are not familiar with, but we did we brought some. Everybody was able to either bring or knit some little hearts, and we did some special embroidery as a nice gift for Sarah, for thanking her for her years of service in the Knit Local retreat, and just to kind of give her some warm hugs for her health situation that she's going through now. So that was really very, very delightful. Of course, we did make a few purchases. We went to the mill. The girls, I always call them girls, but Sophia, Sarah, and Emma had never been to the Bat and Kill mill before, so we went to the mill first, and we did a nice tour of the mill, which was really great. Oh, there's the cat coming down the stairs. So when we went to the Bat and Kill mill, I was able to pick up some of this glorious yarn. Look at those colors. This is probably going to be some type of a cowl, I think. Maybe a cabled cowl. I have an idea of a pattern. And that's lovely. This is actually some seconds from a run that MJ did for Quince & Co. So she had lots of this around for us in lots of different colors. And I know Emma bought quite a few skeins, and I know Sarah bought quite a few skeins, so I'm really looking forward to see what they come up with those. So this was really, really really beautiful. We went to Battenkill, then we ended up going to a couple of the llama farms, and we went to see just some of the sheep farms. And then we ended up our afternoon at Foster Sheep Farm. Carol's not officially on the tour, but it's always a great place at the end of the day, and that's where we met up with Tracy. So she came over, and I picked up some of this lovely pin drafted roving, dyed of course by Carol, and it's from their Romney sheep. And look at these colors that she did. I just love them together. I think they're great. I'm really always drawn to this kind of olivey green color. So looking forward to seeing how this actually spins up when I do it. Super excited about that. Let me see if I can open it quickly and show you. And Carol does great work, and plus we got to go out in the back and see all the sheep, which is always so much fun. So here it is. Here's the real colors. Aren't those glorious? I love them. I just love this green color matched with the purple. Can't wait to dive into that. But Carol's farm is always fun. They just, of course, it's lambing season, so they just finished up lambing, and those little sheep are so cute. So cute. I, of course, managed not to really take any pictures, but I have some pictures from Sophia that I'll steal and put at the end here too. So I think that's all for now. Thanks for joining me this morning, and I'll put some pictures at the end. And yeah, so I look forward to talking to you again the next time. And remember, it's just knitting. Bye.